You might remember when I bought the cheapest exhaust I could find for my Rebel 500 to see if it sucked. Well, now it's time to see if it'll work on my Rebel 1100.
Perfect.
Welcome back to Life of Birch. This is Birch, and that is right. I am just crazy enough to see if my $60 Shorty GP exhaust from my Rebel 500 will work on my Rebel 1100. Now, this was never in the plans, but I've been promising you guys an exhaust video for weeks now. My exhaust finally came in today, and it was scratched, so I can't put it on. So I figured, what can I do to get some kind of content about exhaust? And it dawned on me, why don't I see if my Shorty GP fits on my 1100? So that's exactly what we're doing today, playing mad scientist to see if it works. So of course, the first step is getting both of the exhausts off. For the Shorty GP exhaust, it's just one 11mm nut holding the clamp on, and for the stock Rebel 1100 exhaust, it's just a 12mm here and two 12mm down at the clamp. Let's see what happens. All right, now the moment of truth. I'm not even sure if this fits on the 1100, so let's find out. It fits. Let's tighten it down and see what it sounds like. Well, I'll be damned. It actually fits. Like, it's on there nice and snug, and it doesn't look bad for a $60 exhaust on a $10,000 bike. Wow, dude, who would have thought this would work? All right, now I guess all that's left to do is start it up and see what it sounds like. All right, so I unplugged my wireless mic so that it's just the GoPro mic facing straight at it, so hopefully it sounds the best. It's a little bit windy, so hopefully we don't pick up on the wind, but let's see what it sounds like. Definitely popping some. I think it's running a little bit lean, rich, whatever it is, because you went from a full muffler to just a little Shorty, but I mean... My God, dude! Oh my God, that is almost not okay. Like, I feel bad for my neighbors for having to hear that. I don't know if it's a good idea to leave it like that long term, but we're gonna go take it for a ride and see what happens. All right, welcome aboard the first Rebel 1100 with a Shorty GP exhaust. Gosh, that sounds insane. All right, now like I said, there are plenty of people who are going to say that this probably won't be good for the bike long term, but those same people were saying it about putting it on the 500 as well. I've put thousands of miles on my Rebel 500 without any issue with that exhaust, and there's people who have put tens of thousands of miles on it with a Shorty GP without issue. So as far as I'm concerned, this should be fine to keep on this bike long term, but I'm also not a mechanic, so follow your heart. All right, let's get out there and see what it sounds like. Oh my gosh, it already sounds crazy. Ooh, a little bit of backfire. Hopefully this is conveying through the GoPro microphone well how crazy this sounds. We're gonna go out this way and do a full acceleration so we can see what that sounds like. Sheesh. Oh yes. This sounds crazy. Let's take it on the highway too to see what it sounds like there. Now before we do all this, I do want to make it clear that the exhaust that I got that showed up that was scratched was not the fault of the exhaust company. It looks like it got messed up in shipping. So hopefully they're getting me a fresh one out, and whenever that happens, I'm going to swap it out to that and keep that one on long term. If you wanted to keep this on long term, I'm sure you could, but me personally, I already had my heart set on the one that I had on the way. All right, here's our opening. Ready? Sheesh, dude, that bark as you're decelerating is insane. It's definitely not the best sounding thing ever, but for 60 bucks, dude, you can't beat it. Even if you're not sure if you'll like it, it's worth spending 60 bucks just to experience this and just see if it's up your alley. It's definitely loud though. I'm interested to see how loud it is on the highway and if it's like obnoxiously just droning. Gosh, that deceleration bark and pop, that's the only way I can describe it, just sounds so good. All right, hopefully the mic is still good on the highway and you'll be able to hear the exhaust. It is windy AF, like 15 to 20 mile per hour winds, so I doubt that any of that footage from the highway was usable, but I figured I'd pull through here just to kind of talk about it in case you couldn't hear it. It sounds really, really good for $60, and it's loud, don't get me wrong, like real loud, but it wasn't even like that obnoxious riding on the highway. Like I was expecting my ears to be ringing by the time I was done, but it really wasn't that bad. I have it in kind of like a higher gear right now. I'm cruising at 25 in third gear just to keep it quieter through this neighborhood. Even in second gear, it's not that loud. So like I said, I don't plan to keep this on long term. I plan on waiting for my new fresh exhaust to come in and we'll put that on and keep it on long term. But if you wanted to do this long term, I feel like you could get away with it. It's definitely loud, so if you don't like loud, maybe don't give it a shot. But at the same time, like, it's 60 bucks. So even if you don't like it, what is there to lose, you know? Just resell it for 40 bucks and you're only 20 bucks out for seeing if you like something. And with that said, there is a link to buy this exhaust in the description of this video. It's the same link from my Rebel 500 video, and just like with that one, if you purchase through that link, it gives 4.5% of the sale back to the channel. I think I've sold like 80 exhausts through the other link, which is like a few $100 back to me to help me keep up with like new parts for the bikes and like new GoPros and stuff like that. So it's definitely appreciated if you use that link. Let's go. Man, I really hope you guys can tell how crazy that sounds. So yeah, overall, same consensus as when I did it with the 500. Does it suck? No. Does it suck compared to some of like the $400, $500, $600 exhausts out there? Probably, but for 60 bucks, it does not suck. It sucks that things didn't go the way they planned and I didn't get to put my other exhaust on the bike today, but as far as turning lemons into lemonade, this is as good as it gets, dude. This sounds crazy. I feel like a mad scientist trying this out for the first time. At least I'm pretty sure I'm the first person to put a Shorty GP on the 1100. Now I feel like I need to check some YouTube videos to see if that's actually real, but yeah, I'm stoked. Hopefully you guys got a kick out of that, seeing me make this happen, and hopefully the video conveys how insane this sounds. And then stay tuned, because hopefully soon I will have my real exhaust to throw on this thing, and I am stoked for that. As always, thanks for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. We'll give you one more pull, and then I'll be out of here.